Once you've created all your drawings in SolidWorks, if you want to transition and have those parts cut out on the laser cutter here at Mount Hood, there's a couple steps you need to follow. First, you need to make a cut sheet. To do that, I recommend adding a drawing sheet to your drawings file, then right-clicking on Properties. Now, there's a couple things we need to change. First, the scale. You want to typically cut things out at 1:1 scale. If that's different, you can change that. Uncheck the Display Sheet Format, and then click on Custom Sheet Size. Now you want to set this size to be the size of the material you're going to cut out. In most cases, I like to cut a 24-inch by 16-inch piece of material, although the laser cutter can cut up to 29 by 17. I'm going to click OK, and that makes pretty much everything disappear here, and I can go ahead and edit my sheet format if I would like to remove that logo that came along for some reason. And now I just have a blank sheet. The next thing that I need to do is add some views to that sheet. Okay, and so I can come up here to View Layout, and I'll put in a model view. And now it shows me the different models that I could select. If I click on Browse, I can open any of the different pieces that I want. So these are all different model files. Maybe I want to put in a view of the wing, so I'm going to click on Wing. And this is not the view I want, but if I click and drag, that is the view I want. I can hit Escape and delete the view that's not needed. Okay, so now I just have that view of a wing. And I probably want another view, right? So I can browse to another file, maybe the prop. I'll open that guy, and it places the prop there. Okay. Now, the prop is likely not the same size as the wing. So I want to click on the view of the prop and scroll down and see it's using the sheet scale. So then let's look at the wing and see what scale it's using. And look at that. It used a custom scale on that wing. So I want to click back and say use the sheet scale. All right. And then I can kind of move these around and position them. And I can continue doing this with the other parts that I have. Just clicking on placing a part, browse, maybe I'll do the lower wing now. Okay. And I'll delete the view I don't need. And there you go. And I can put these, you don't want to put them right on top of each other, about an 1/8 inch gap, 1/4 inch is better, and lay out all of your parts. Once you have all your parts laid out, the next step is to do a Save As, File, Save As, and change the save type down here to Adobe Illustrator, not PDF, Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so now I'll save this as Adobe Illustrator, and I'll save it as Jenny example. Okay, I'll save this file, and it saves each of the sheets as an Adobe Illustrator file. All right. Once it's done with that, then I can come over to Adobe Illustrator. So you can go File, All Programs, and there's the Adobe Illustrator. I've already clicked on those, so I'm going to say Done. And here I go File, Open, and I will look for that project. There it is. And here's my Jenny example. Open this file up. And when I open the file, you can see I had many pages in that file. So it asks, what page do you want to look at? Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and open this page here that has the full plane. Okay. And I will open up that file. It says that it's missing some fonts. I can just close this. And the zoom in Adobe Illustrator is down here in the left-hand corner. So I'm going to zoom all the way out, and you can see my parts are laid out here. And you can also see that there's this watermark on the page. You can go ahead and select that and delete it. So use the dark arrow, select the information and delete it. The final step you need to take is to drag a box around all your parts to select them. And then up here where it says stroke, you need to change this to be 0.001 inches. Okay, it converts it back into points, so that's 0.072 points or 0.001 inches. And this is important for the laser cutter. If it's any wider than this, it will not pick it up as something that needs to be cut. It tries to etch it instead. So you want to make sure that you do what's called a hairline width. All right. You also want to check and make sure that you have this cut set to the color that you're shooting for. So typically I recommend doing it in black and then setting up the Rayjet to cut on the black color. Okay, so once you've done this, you're going to go ahead and print it. So come down to print. This opens up the print dialog within Adobe Illustrator, and you select the printer. You go ahead and select the Rayjet engraver. You want to change the media size to be Trotec default, and then go ahead and change the placement to be at 0, 0. Okay, and this you can see in the preview puts your cut sheet right in the top left corner of the sheet. That's good. The Trotec default size, it shows you that it has a width of 28.5, a height of 17. Then you want to go up to Setup, and this is where you can change the settings on the Rayjet engraver. Okay. The Rayjet works by the color of the lines that it sees. It changes different power settings. So to change those settings, you click on the color you're interested in. So all our lines are black, so we're going to go ahead and set that. We want to cut, not engrave. We're going to cut. Leave these alone. Then come down to power. We want to cut at 100% power. If you're cutting 1/4 inch material, I recommend in between 1.5 and 1.8% speed. If you're cutting 1/8 inch, I recommend between 2 and 2.5% speed. I'm going to go ahead and cut 1/4 inch material, so I'll leave this as it is. Go to the next screen, choose black and white if we're just cutting and not engraving. And then in the last screen, I want you to change from the software print button to start it to the Rayjet start button. And this allows us to set our material in and make any last minute adjustments we need to do. When you hit play, that saves your configuration. Click on print and then hit print one more time. Now what this does is it sent it to the Rayjet Mini Manager. To access the Mini Manager, come down to the right hand corner, click on this arrow, and then right click on the Rayjet Mini Manager bubble. This is the Mini Manager. It shows the different jobs that are in queue for the Rayjet. And we are the GennyExample.ai. You can make any last minute power adjustments that need to be made here. And if everything looks good, go ahead and click on the Start button, and that will actually start cutting your material. That's the basics of using the Rayjet with Solidworks. If you have questions, make sure to hit up your lab instructor or someone in the engineering club.